remember thinking, if I made $1,000 a month, wow, that's just a little extra income. That video was the game changer. That's when there was a clear bump up in subscribers. I only find joy if I am in the creative spirit of producing and creating something that I feel needs to be there that may not be there. Really, that's all I've done. There hasn't been a single day where I have felt burnout.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We are here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name's John Ainsworth and today's guest is Beth Blackerby. Now, Beth is a professional violinist and the founder of Violin Lab. She's performed with the Austin Symphony and for 2 years with the orchestra of the Gran Teatro del Liceu in Barcelona. But here's the part our audience is going to find really fascinating. Back in 2007, before online course was really a phrase that people used, Beth started teaching adult violin students and noticed something. Adults learn differently, and almost nobody was teaching to them. So in 2008, she built Violin Lab, one of the very first websites anywhere to offer a structured sequence violin curriculum online. No subscription models, no playbook to copy. She was really early. Now, nearly 2 decades later, that bet has paid off. Her YouTube channel has grown to 122,000 subscribers and over 9 million views. She's helped more than 20,000 adults learn the violin, and she's built a membership business with hundreds of video lessons, live classes, one-on-one feedback, all on the strength of one thing she's quietly obsessed with, being the best teacher and demonstrator of violin technique on the internet. And what I love about Beth's story for this audience is she's built all of this on teaching quality almost alone, which means there's a huge amount of upside still on the table. Once you add the marketing layer on top, we're going to talk about that later. Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
So talk us through, who is it you're helping with your courses? I know it's adults. Is it anything more specific than that?
Well, there's a variety of ages on the site, but primarily adults who want to, try music for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of adults have wanted to play their whole lives and just now find themselves with time and dispensable income to invest in lessons or the instrument. And some adults did play as a child and now want to return. They want to sort of reclaim some of those skills that they used to have. So that primarily makes up the body of Violin Lab. And then there are a handful of youngsters whose parents are very keen on helping them get an advantage. So they often have private teachers, but then use Violin Lab as support. And they will still send videos so I can give feedback. And, these kids do very well, but they all have that parental support. But 95% of the members of Violin Lab, I would say, are between the ages of 30 and 80.
Okay. One of the things I've really noticed, I interview a lot of music course creators, and there's a big percentage of people where the majority of their customers are retired.
Yeah. No.
Do you find like it's a big percentage for you as well? Because you said at 30 to 80, so that's quite big, broad.
Yes. I would say retired, or have constructed a life where they still work. They might have part-time work now, or they might still do things in their industry, but also have carved out the time. And I think remote work helps a lot with that. So there are people who, are engineers, but they're working somewhat at home, and then they can take those breaks and practice the violin. So there are a substantial number of hobbyists who, are not necessarily waiting to retirement. They really love music and they really want to play the violin. So I would say it's widespread. I would, if I was going to make a pie chart, I think there are going to be lots of slices.
Okay, cool. So what is it about teaching adults that's so different from teaching kids?
Oh, goodness. Well, everything. First of all, they are curious and they crave information that literally will impact their current moment. Kids by nature, they're curious creatures, but they're not curious for detail or for knowledge. So, you can kind of say anything to kids sometimes, and, they're going to learn by osmosis and imitation. And, some of them will excel and some won't. But for adults, they require precision with language. You can't just say something and not qualify with why and exactly why and what
Mm.
happens. So for me, creating content, it's nice to know that I don't well, maybe I do, but I don't feel like I have to worry about, well, if I don't make this video, 2 minutes long, I'm gonna lose everyone's attention because the
Mm.
people who really are watching, no, it takes a while. They need the explanation, they need the demonstration in detail so that the light bulb for them can go off and like, "Ah, finally, this was explained to me in a way that I can
Mm.
actually apply it in my own practice." So that is a big difference. I also think that another huge difference in the pedagogy is that m- the standard violin pedagogy is has was created to teach young people, and young people move differently. Their muscles move differently,
Mm.
and so there are goals that you would have for a child that aren't relevant to the way adults move. And it doesn't make sense to me to train an adult like you would a child and then say, "Oh, by the way, now that you've put 2 or 3 years into it, well, it's not you don't really do it like that. Here's how you really do it. Here's the nuance, here's the
Mm.
refinement." But, a 5-year-old they don't have refined movements, but we've learned how to use chopsticks. We can
Mm.
write our names, with a quill if we had to. So so I then have to say, well, what is it that a professional or soloist really does? What are those muscle movements? And then how can I break that down into steps that even a beginner, someone who is 60 years old, who has never touched the violin can learn to do. So it is very different teaching adults.
Fascinating. I was watching one of your videos earlier about I think you were teaching vibrato,
Mhm.
and you had a slow motion camera
Mhm.
showing like exactly how you were just mentioning there about like the
Yeah.
the fine motor neuron control, and you were showing like, okay, this is exactly how the hand's moving and how relaxed it is, and don't put your finger here and do put it there. And I was like, yeah, if you're trying to explain that to a, I don't know,
Yeah.
an 8-year-old, it's like
Yeah,
that's too much
they are
detail,
not
right?
gonna care. They do not want to, and that video, speaking of that video and what promotions I have done or any success I have had where I had the intention to do something to catch eyeballs, it was that video. That video was the game changer.
Mm.
And because at the time, we only had, YouTube. There were no other courses, and there weren't that many on YouTube making violin tutorials, just a couple maybe.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what is the thing that people have they want to know or learn to do more than anything else, right? You can put your fingers down, you can go like that, right? You can make sound, but they can't do that. And classical violin is not violin without vibrato. So
Mm.
that was the one. So that's the one I wanted to dig into as deeply as I could. And when I put that video on YouTube, that's when there was a clear bump up in subscribers.
Interesting. Have
Mhm.
you done a lot more like that since? Like, or are there not other? Is that just that's the one technique that people really
Well,
wanted, or?
that's the main technique that I think really helps to see in slow motion
Hmm.
because,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you're shaking your hand, but there are some essential parts that need to move. I do have another one that is with the bow hand.
Hmm.
It's a similar one where I'm showing exactly what happens with the fingers when the bow changes direction, right? Because
Mm.
it happens quickly. So if you're just watching someone play, you don't really catch it. But
Right.
when you see it in slow motion, then and there was a pretty a renowned teacher in New York, and I was attending this conference, and he came up to me, he just said, "Oh, by the way, I show all my students that video so they can see this, in slow."
Oh,
I
nice.
was like, "Oh, well, good."
Have you ever done those videos again? Like the same video, but just like uh, I just see people, right? They have a
Yes.
successful video and then they just make the same video multiple times because that's a video that does really well.
I haven't ever done that, and it never occurred to me to do. It's like, "Well, go watch that one. I
That
did
it's
it." Then
done,
it's like,
done.
"It's done." I got I'm not even sure my camera does slow motion, the one I use now, but well, that's actually yeah, that's
I
actually
bet
an
iPhones do
interesting
slow
thought,
motion.
yeah.
I think it'd be worth. Like I've got a friend, Jack. He's been on the podcast before. I talk about him
Mhm.
sometimes. He's teaches banjo,
Yeah.
and he's like he really is playing the game like with you. So he only started on YouTube like a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago, and he's been like playing the game and learning like what kind of videos do well and what have you. And then there's like he got frustrated because that's a concept. It's like take your best performing video and just do it again and see if you can get it to do well again. And he like tried the same one multiple times and it never did work. But I've seen other people where they've there's a YouTuber who does rock climbing that I follow called Magnus Mitvo, and he did a video that did incredibly well where he dressed up as a really old guy. So he's like in his 20s, right, at the time. And he
Uh-huh.
dressed up, got all the prosthetics and all of the stuff to look like he was in his 60s or 70s. And then went along and claimed it was his first lesson ever. And then, but then could climb everything, you know. So, and that was really fun. And that got 10 million views or something crazy, right?
Oh,
Well,
wow.
he's made like 5 or 6 of that same video, just like
Yeah. He's like, "Well,
again and
that
again.
works. I'm gonna do more of that."
And that worked great for him. Like the
Yeah.
first one, the top one's got 10 million, the next one's got 5, the next one's got 3, but they're all millions of views of the
Yeah.
same video. So
Yeah, wow. Well, no, I haven't ever tried anything like actually, if they've just followed me long enough, I mean, I've aged just like, "Oh, well, she's old now. No prosthetics, no." It's like, "Ah, just old." Yeah.
What's the model that you've got? Talk to me about that. Like you've got the basic at $35 a month and the premium
Uh-huh.
at 65. What's the difference between those two for the member?
For the $65 a premium account, and basically what it does is it opens up a private channel
Hmm.
with me where you just upload your video to YouTube, and you embed your unlisted video
Mm.
so that only I can see it. And then I watch your video and I make you a video back and I post it right there on your channel so you can see, there's the chronology of our interactions of our lessons.
Hmm.
And then yeah, no, and people love it. Now,
I
I will
bet for
yeah.
$65 a month, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think it's daunting, the idea of recording yourself, I think is a hurdle. I think
Mm.
people tend to shy away from that, but once they have crossed that initial barrier of turning on your webcam, your phone, or whatever, and putting yourself out there because it doesn't matter whether it's the phone or anything, you push that button,
Mm.
you feel exposed.
Mm.
And then, you're sending it to someone and adults are self-conscious beings. We want to do well. We don't want to sound bad. And, and so a lot of people are like, well, I didn't submit my video because I don't think it really sounds good. I'm like, no, 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 no. That is not the purpose. You are not performing for me. You are bringing me the warts. You are showing me the struggles because that's what my job is
Yeah.
to help you with those struggles. And that's what I find joy in is dissecting the things that are holding people back from realizing really what is their true potential. And so yes, so once they see that and have that, they really kind of get a little I've been told, it's like I can't wait for your response. They're just like, when's it gonna come? And yeah.
How many videos can they do back and forth with you a month? How does
Well,
that work?
for the $65, it's just once a month.
Once a
And
month.
then
Cool.
they can't upgrade. Once you have that, you could upgrade to a $95 premium plus, which
Mhm.
is weekly.
Mhm.
And there's no rollover.
Yeah.
So if you don't make your video that month or you're out of town or you can, then you don't cram a bunch in the next
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I mean, I'm sure you understand that the whole gym membership. concept. I mean,
Sure.
there
Yeah,
are
yeah.
yes, so for someone who is regular about, submitting their video, it's a bargain. A good it's a
Amazing deal.
but there are some people, and I've reached out to them, and they sign up for the premium package, and this one person paid a year's worth of lessons and never submitted.
Oh, that's funny.
So, so it ultimately, as far as revenue, I would be making about as much as I would if I charged a premium price for an in-person lesson, which in Austin could be anywhere from, 85 to $200 in Austin for an hour in-person lesson.
And what made you move over to the subscription model? Because you mentioned it wasn't the norm when you started back in, was it 2007 you started
I
the
launched
membership?
I started making content in 2007.
Okay.
Once the website was built, once I had everything there, it was the beginning of 2009 was when we actually launched, and then I had to abandon that site, rebuild again,
Hmm.
relaunched in 2010, and still at that time, right, subscriptions were not the norm, and I didn't do any research, I just base all my decisions on how I respond to things, and it's like, if someone said, "I'm gonna take your credit card, and every month I'm gonna make a charge," I would be like, "No, thank you,"
Mm.
so it was just, you would buy either a 1 month, 3 month, or a year, and it was
Hmm.
cheaper to buy the year, and then it ended, but you would get an email inviting you to renew at a discount. And so people often renewed it at that discount.
Hmm.
So it was still like a subscription, but you just had to volitionally, re-enroll. And then, of course, it became the norm. And
Mm.
and then so I think this was 2018 maybe. We went to subscription. And it did bump up the numbers, just
Okay.
having
Yeah.
the regular. But I also had a structure where for every year that you're subscribed, your rate drops.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
so it was just $20 a month when I first went to subscription. It was
Hmm.
$20 a month. The next year was $15, and the next year it was 10, and then it's capped at $10 a month. And I still
Right.
have, I would say the majority of my subscribers just pay $10 a month.
Okay.
And it's because, I mean, imagine your Netflix did that for you. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, I'm just paying $8 a month. I mean, I didn't watch anything. There's nothing I really want to watch, but it's just eight. I don't want to give that up.
Mm.
So a lot of people just stay subscribed because for them, $10 is not it's not registering as an expense. Once
Hmm.
it gets now it's 35, it does. Now I don't have that pricing structure anymore because I
Mm.
relaunched November of 25. I relaunched again with this current site, which is a WordPress built site. So now we got plugins. I had custom builds before. So I don't think my plugin does that. I don't think I would
Okay.
continue that. To be honest, I would do that. I would reward consistency and loyalty with rate drops.
Hmm. Nice.
Hmm.
How long do people typically stay with you now then? So you've got a bunch of people obviously who've stayed around for years because if they're down
Hmm.
to the $10, do you
Hmm.
do you have like a sense of how long the average person stays?
hmm. I at the $35, I would say that most look, I mean, the reality is violin requires so much time and attention that I think most people are like, I don't have time. I thought I did. So they
Mm.
don't really last a year.
Okay.
But those who do, and those who are like, I love this, I'm dedicated, I'm in it to win it, they stay. And I would say then the average lifespan for someone who really continues to learn
Yeah.
is, between 5 years, and they can kind of graduate in about 6 years. Like they've gone through the content, they have made the progress, but as time goes on, that number is smaller and smaller. Those who stick it to the end. But that's just the nature of
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
a
yeah.
difficult instrument.
And about how many students have you got now that are still members?
Um, it has waned since the pandemic, I will tell you. I
Okay.
was holding steady at around 1,600,
Uh-huh.
and but now 1,200. I mean, it has slipped, but I think that I'm not alone in that. From what I
Yeah,
understand
yeah, yeah.
from other content creators, the combination of increased competition because now everyone is doing it,
Yeah, yeah.
and just post-pandemic behavior. People are like, "I don't want to be in front of a computer. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna, in-person experiences." So, yeah, it has slipped. But yeah, so I would say, and now a lot of those have bought lifetime memberships. So I do offer
Mhm,
lifetime memberships. I do have I mean, not huge, but there is a population that are on scholarship. So
mhm.
anyone in a country, whether it's sanctioned or the dollar is a lot, for some people said
Mm,
$35. It is, I mean, it's like a day's worth of labor. I mean, like
mm.
there are certain countries and so I let people have memberships for free, but I do expect that they learn. And I just ask them as a show of good faith and to know that I'm making a difference because it is a mission. It really is.
Mm,
I
mm.
I want anyone to learn violin, and if they can't pay for it, that's okay. But I want to know that they're practicing. So I ask them to send progress videos to show me that they're engaged, and then I continue the scholarship.
That's sweet. I like that.
Yep.
So, what's your kind of approach with making videos for YouTube? Like, but how often do you put a new video up?
Well, I haven't done anything in a while, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Partly because there are I just think it is so crowded now. It's just overcrowded. And if I do put up new material, for me, it has to be fresh. It has to be novel. I don't want to think that someone is hearing the same information over and over and over. So I do have areas and I have so many burners on a stove with a pot on it that's been simmering for months and years, and it's like, I know it will be good if I ever complete it, but like a whole course on just like our tuning systems or things where you can't otherwise find it. So
Yeah.
unless I feel like you can't otherwise find it anywhere else than from me, I sort of am not interested in putting up the content. I'm not going to do it just, I know I should. I know I should. Like, oh, you have to keep your channel alive. You have to feed it. And those kinds of things just, they make me sad. They really do. I only find joy if I am in the creative spirit of producing and creating something that I feel needs to be there that may not be there. And that's that's all I've done. Yeah. And if I have tried to do something intentionally, like, well, except, okay, there was the vibrato video and there was one other thing that had seemed to work well. And it was a video that I said, like 8 things I wish someone would have told me when I started
Mhm.
violin. And I was like,
Yeah.
genuinely like, okay, what do I really, really wish I would have known? And about 2/3 of the way through, it's not in the description. So
Mm.
you have to hear me say it. And I say, if you have gotten this far, you're going to be able to learn violin because you have a long attention span. if you if you email me in the subject line, I have a long attention span, I will give you a free pass to check out Violin Lab. And I mean, when I first launched it, I every day email, I have a long attention span. I have a long attention span. I have a long attention span. And it was a great marketing thing that I
Mhm.
did, but it had to be inside of, what I felt like was good content. So those are the only 2 things that have worked. Um, yeah. Like I've tried Google Ads or something, and I mean, I might as well have just like written a nice little letter to Google and say, I just love y'all and I'm just going to give you some money. And here, I'm just going to have a blank check and you just do with it what you want. I mean, that's what it felt like when
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
tried to do ads or anything like that.
I think if you're going to do ads, it's in the same way as like if someone's going to start on YouTube, it's like you got to you got to do it properly. You got
Yeah.
to really get in there and you got to accept I'm going to mess this up like a whole load of times. And in
Oh,
the ads, in YouTube that means you're going to lose a load of time.
yeah.
In ads it means you're going to lose a bunch of time and money.
Yeah.
And it's like along the way, and if you're not willing to go all the way through that and
Yes.
push through and take the training and make the mistakes and blah blah blah, then you kind of not got a chance of getting through the other side. And one of the things I want to say this actually to everybody listening, if you are a YouTuber or you're doing like Instagram or whatever, organic content, and you're like, oh man, I wish that I was doing ads because then they would just run. Go and talk to people who are actually doing lots of ads, because that is not how it works. What they do is they have to make new ads constantly because the audience is bored of the ads that they've seen before. So they're like churning out new creatives and new ads at this incredible, much faster than YouTubers are making new videos. So it's like,
Interesting.
just the grass is not always greener on the other side. If YouTube is working for you, just like do more YouTube is probably the place to
Is
start. And like,
probably, yeah, that is, and also I guess if it's what you know, right? You are sharing your
I spent
expertise.
years getting good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why not just keep doing that? And that's what I just decided. Well, I'm only doing one thing well. I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And I think I mean I still, I mean, people are still joining the site, and I've been told, this one woman just told me, she said, Chat GPT loves you. You
Oh.
know? And then some. I've heard from a few others. China loves you.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, well, wouldn't that be nice if China could join my site?
Yeah, that'd
But
be
they
great.
cannot. But those
They
few
can't do it for.
people who have VPNs can join.
Oh,
But
they can't.
I
Chinese
am
people can't join because of.
apparently famous in China. Now, what that means, I think, is that someone took my YouTube videos and they put them on whatever China's YouTube is, and they get a lot of views. I think that's what this is. I mean, I've had 3
Right.
people to mention this. But yeah.
Do you do anything from your videos to get people onto an email list? Do you have like a newsletter or anything like that?
No, I don't have anything like that. With the exception of just like that, a couple of, and I have a few more where I sprinkle in there, email me this and you'll get this in return. They don't work all that well. Also, I mean, the main reason I don't do it is because I would not be able to keep up. Someone would send their email and I'd be like, well, I don't have a newsletter. I haven't done a newsletter. Those kinds of things
Yeah.
would require me to stay on top of it. And I know I probably won't, because I just get very immersed in the things that I, enjoy doing. So yeah. And that probably works really well for a lot of creators is art by, having things that go out regularly by email. I don't emailing, big lists of people haven't ever seemed to work well for me either. So maybe there's a lot of tricks to that as well.
How many views do you get a month on your channel now? Do you know?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, I just, all I know is that like the people that subscribe to my channel, it stays fairly consistent. So when I put out a new video or something, it usually, I would say, about like maybe 300 new subscribers a month. Otherwise, it's like 200 something with me doing nothing. And I have compared my channel to other channels of people who are doing essentially the exact same thing, who work a lot harder at maintaining their YouTube channels. And we seem the number of followers seems to stay compatible. So
Okay.
I haven't seen something where it's so compelling, like, wow, this person, they are lapping me with, an increase in their YouTube followers. What are they doing? I haven't seen that, at least in my exact, little niche of violin teaching.
Yeah. That makes sense. The reason I was asking was like, if the views per month is still high. So here's the overall thing. When you're selling courses and memberships, like 80% of the potential revenue is in email promotions. So as in, instead of going directly from YouTube to the Violin Lab, going from YouTube to email lists and then sending useful content to the email list and then sending in a promotion going, here's something we've got, one of your individual courses or your main membership, doing a promotion going, we've got a special going on, sign up now and get a
you
discount.
mean making a YouTube video so in the description,
basically doing it in the description of like every video. So it's like
Oh,
if let's imagine that you've still got, I don't know if this is true or not, but like let's imagine that your old Vibrato video is still getting tons of views
yeah.
now. If you put in the description of
Okay.
that a link to some free lead magnet about learning vibrato, I don't know
Okay.
anything
Yeah.
about violin, right?
Right.
Then some percentage of people, normally about 2% of people, will then sign up for the free lead magnet. And then lead magnet is just something you're giving away for free. And then a percentage of those people, when you email them, will then buy. And if you
Okay.
do that, it tends to be that you get a much higher amount of revenue per YouTube view than you do if you just say straight through to the sales
I see
page.
what you're saying. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. I'll make note of that.
But the only way that kind of it depends on how many views you're still getting per month as to what would make sense there. Like if all of your views are on your new videos, then it's like, oh well, it's not worth bothering about the old ones. But if you're still getting tons of views of the old videos, then it's worth putting that in the description of the
Right.
old ones. So
Well,
we had a guy.
maybe it would be worth because I certainly have content that would complement all of the videos that I put up,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So let's say there's a practicing one. Well, I've created this nice little list of practice techniques. So maybe that's that magnet. For the vibrato, I do have other specialized vibrato videos that maybe I could send a link to that they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't normally be able to find or something. Is that
Yeah, and you kind of
something
want that to
you
be
would?
automated, so they're not having to like you're not having to do it manually every time they you set up like a form or something, so they just fill it in and they go on the list, and you could get
Okay.
that from ConvertKit or Mailchimp. Or any of them will
Okay.
allow you to make those kind of forms.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we had somebody we were working with who she had very lots and lots of subscribers, like millions of subscribers on a YouTube channel, 1 million people on Facebook, whatever, but was never linking to lead magnets. And she was getting something like 400 opt-ins a month. And then we added it in everywhere, not just new content, but all of the previous content. And she went up to like, I don't know, it was like 20,000 opt-ins a month or something like
Oh,
that. And it's just
wow.
like, just because she didn't have it
Okay.
anywhere, it was hard to find how to get onto her list. And it
Oh.
went to, now it depends obviously on how many views you have as to how many opt-ins you get. Like it's just a percentage kind of game between the two of them.
Well, so here I have a question then. So let's
Yeah.
say that in your description,
Mm-hmm.
you have, I guess a link to where you put in your email. So then automatically you get this thing. Then from that thing, how
Yeah.
does it lead to, say, a Violin Lab membership?
Yeah. So the basic idea there is, and this is you're saying about not putting out content unless you're feeling inspired. So this is why I don't know if this is right for you or not. But here's the system when
Okay.
it's all fully done, right?
Okay.
Is you have a welcome sequence that is automated. So that goes out over about 2 weeks, maybe like 5 or 6 emails over 2 weeks, and that's automated. And everything after that is just sent out manually to the whole list. And that is like probably a weekly piece of content of some kind. Could be a newsletter, but it could be a link to your most recent YouTube video. It could be some useful tip that you're sending out, whatever it is, something useful. And then once a month, you do a promotion of something. Now, you can only do a promotion of your membership probably like let's say every 3 months, because with this you might be doing a discount. So instead of it being $35 a month, if you sign up now, it's going to be 30% off, or get the first 3 months for half price or something. You come up with some special offer, and you have a series of emails that go out talking all about how amazing the membership is and what's included in it and what's included in the special offer and why, what kind of results people are getting when they use it, and answering people's common questions and creating urgency. And you do like a big week of pushing that. But you can only do that if you're doing a membership. You can only promote with a discount every few months, because otherwise people will be like, oh, it'll just be on discount again next month. I might as well wait,
Exactly. Yeah.
In between, I know that you have certain things that you have sold at least as courses, because I was following some of the links through from your YouTube videos. These might be old and out of date, I don't know, but like some like any individual courses that you've got that are like, let's say $99 on their own or whatever, you can sell those in the other months. So that's the
I
full kind of
see. Yeah.
system.
Yeah, I do have the vibrato course. I have a whole course on it on the Sound Slice platform.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so that kind of thing. That's exactly what you then promote in the other ones. Um, but yeah, so the reason I was asking about your monthly views is because much more than subscribers, that's what is going to allow you to figure out, okay, well, if I have this many views, I can get this
Okay.
many email subscribers, I can then have an email list of this size, I can then make this much money and kind of figure out what's the return, how worth it is it for you.
Yeah, no, that's
Um,
great. I would have never thought of that. I mean, I thought because like I was told, oh, you have to blog, because then that's when you can like get these opt-in emails, or something. But I don't think anyone reads blogs anymore, right? I mean, doesn't
I mean, I guess some do,
like
right?
do
But
they?
like, I
Do
don't
they?
know. I
I
think
mean, like,
I wouldn't worry about if you've got a
yeah,
YouTube channel with 120,000 subscribers. I don't think you should be thinking
yeah,
about blogging. I think you should be thinking about YouTube videos. Like you've already got
yeah,
the traffic channel figured out.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I'm really curious as to how many views your old videos still like
Well,
how.
I'll look at that. I will look at that and to see, yeah, which ones still drive the engagement because likely the things that people really wanted to know back in, 2010, they still want
Mm,
to know now. Um,
violins haven't been upgraded
yes,
since.
no, and the way to play them, no one has figured out anything different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Music channels are really a great revenue wise per subscriber, revenue wise per viewer. They tend to be really good.
Hmm,
Like there's lots of potential there because people who want to learn music, they know that they need to go take a course to learn it in more detail. They know they need feedback and lessons and what have you. So it tends to be a higher kind of conversion rate to people being willing to spend money. That's been my experience. Like we're working with someone who what are they up to now? I think like 30,000 subscribers, something like that in the piano space, and got them up to like making $30,000 a month, something in that kind of
wow.
ballpark. I think Jack's at 10,000 subscribers, and he's doing like 10,000-ish a month. So it's kind of like it depends. Subscribers and views aren't the same thing. I know, but like that's the kind of numbers you tend to be able to hit. And then we've got like Scott, who'd been on here before. Scott teaches runs Scott's bass lessons, and I think he's doing 5 million a year with like half a million subscribers. So
Wow.
it's like there's money in teaching music, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, there is. And when I, started, I mean, I had no idea. And I just
Mm,
remember thinking, if I made $1,000 a month, wow, that's just a little extra income. We had two children and if I could just get like 400 people, like that was just like I'm just going to
yeah,
dream big. And
yeah, yeah,
then, and quickly that happened. And then you're like, and I'm sure every single person who has, who creates content, who has a subscription based membership says, if I could just get to 10,000 a month, and then you get to 10,000 a month and you're like, oh, if I could just get to 15,000 a month, if I could just get, like, it really never ends,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, fortunately, it did well. I could pay for my children's college educations, I could build the studio and I just decided that I've been so fortunate and so lucky. I'm not going to just have that anxiety
Yeah.
about, oh no, my numbers are slipping. Oh no, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I've done plenty well. This
yeah.
is good, and I do love it. Fortunately, there hasn't been a single day
Really?
where I have felt burnout. Now, I will tell you that I don't like emailing. I don't like sitting there and that there are certain tasks, where like video editing, things like that, that
Yeah,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
great to, have someone else do. But just as far as the teaching itself, it's, yeah, not a day goes, never. I will do this until like I actually can't, unless they're like, I don't know what she's saying anymore. But uh, we have in-person, workshops. So I just got back.
Oh,
So
that's
one of the
cool. I
reasons I'm
didn't
so
know that.
excited is because
Yeah.
we just got back. People flew in, someone flew in from Slovenia, from Canada, and we met in Galveston. We rented this mansion that's was now a big wedding venue. They had, suites, and so people stayed there, ate there. We did chamber music. We play. It was so amazing, and the adults that come in there, some are still, I would consider, beginners. Others have been playing for years and years. Didn't matter. I mean, just the joy for them to be in person and come together, was so fun. So that is one of the things about the community that's really enjoyable that you don't really see when you just see an online forum. Well, people don't know that there are in-person experiences that they can participate in. And I think hopefully, now that the pandemic, knock on wood, is way behind us, to do more of these also in-person experiences, workshops. So
That's
because they're
cool.
really
How
fun.
much? How's that tend to work? How much do you charge for that? Are you like booking the? Are they paying for the rooms kind of through you at
Yes,
that
so
place? Or
so I book the venues. It was all inclusive. So it comes to about, I like 1,800 to about 2,000 for all of it. So,
uh
you
huh,
have classes, your teaching covers all the teaching expenses, the facilities, rooms, board, everything.
great
And
deal.
yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Nice. How
Yeah.
long have you done that for?
The first one was in 2012.
Okay.
And that first time I did it, I didn't charge anything because I was
Oh.
so scared. I'd never done anything like that. I haven't even hosted a dinner party. Like, I haven't even had, I haven't done anything. So I thought, well, what if people came and they didn't feel like they got their money's worth? So
Right.
I just said, like, if you come here and you pay for your trip and you find your housing or whatever, I have something for you to do. So I did kind of go overboard. And by the end of it, I mean, they had to show up at like 8:30. They didn't go back to their Airbnbs until it was like 9 p.m. And I had so many classes and master classes, and I asked this one woman, I was like, so what was your favorite thing? And she's like, I don't know. She said there was so much I don't even remember. It's like, okay. So maybe it doesn't. I don't have to, go that overboard. So I kind of distilled it into the things that people seem to value the most.
Yeah.
That is, a personal lesson, just in-person lesson, a masterclass experience where you are playing and other people are listening. And so your instruction there is for everyone playing together,
hmm
chamber music or orchestra. And then the little classes, the little informational things that you throw in need to be good, but that's not what sticks. It really
Okay.
is. It really is the things where they really are doing together, not just listening,
Mm.
but doing together
How often do you do them?
every summer.
Oh, okay. Once a year. Once a year. Okay.
Excluding, pandemic. Now
Yeah.
we were in England for one
Oh.
at this place called Benslow. It's
I don't know what
outside
that
of
is.
London. It's outside of London, and it's just for musical gatherings. It's an
Oh.
amazing facility. They have little dormitory style living. They feed you, and they have these incredibly beautiful rehearsal rooms. So, yeah, it's Benslow. I think if you just Google
Oh,
it.
in
Right.
Hitchin, I'm looking. Yeah, Benslow
Yes.
Music. Some
Yeah. Yeah.
Benslow Music and Hitchin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking that up. So it's kind of like north of London a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live. I would drive past it. There was
Yeah.
some place I'd go to up that way. Okay, cool. I've never been to Hitchin and certainly never been to Benslow Music, but that's cool. It looks beautiful as well.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. So yeah, so I would love to know more venues like that. That's the hard part is
Right.
finding the venue.
Beth, I love this. I love what you're doing. I think
Yeah.
this is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today and
Oh,
sharing
you're
your
welcome. No, it
experience. It's
was
been
really
absolutely
fun.
fantastic.
Okay, great.
If people want to go check you out, if they want to look at your YouTube channel, they want to go look at your website, where should they go?
Just well, violinlab.com, and then my email is there, violinlab@gmail.com. And if anyone is listening to this and you would like to just have a free 2-week trial period, let me know and I'll get you in.
Get some more people learning violin. I like it.
Yeah.
Beth, thanks again so much. And thanks as always for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.